Your home may look modern, but what if it was hiding secrets from the past? A time when houses had odd little doors in the walls, mysterious vents in the floors, and strange old features that today's generation can't even name. These 25 forgotten home details weren't just design choices. They were genius solutions our grandparents relied on every single day. We're going inside the forgotten blueprints of history, 2 rooms and features that have vanished from our modern homes. Ready to uncover the hidden personality of old houses? Today's buildings are often criticized for feeling temporary. We're flipping back through the architectural storybook to a period when a home was a crafted, long-lasting heirloom. Let's remember the mysterious private chambers of Victorian times, sharply angled servant stairs, and the hazardous sunken lounges of the 1970s. Today, we pull back the curtain on vintage house details that have faded into the past. Expansive front porches. This might be the most obvious clue, separating classic homes from new ones. Because only older residences truly boasted a proper veranda for sitting and watching the day pass by. How many of you recall settling into a chair on a broad front porch, just observing the neighborhood's rhythm? A generous, decorated porch with a hanging swing immediately brings back powerful nostalgia. For kids raised near places like West Chicago, a core memory might involve a gentle reprimand to stay off the neighbor's grass. But these porches weren't just for leisure or mild scolding. They were a natural cooling system and a vital spot for community connection. Back then, air conditioning wasn't standard or even present in many dwellings. People sought natural relief, and the wide porch, crafted to capture breezes and offer shade, with ample room for furniture, was the perfect answer. Folks congregated, shared news, and built relationships right there on those planks. The grand porch slowly vanished from new constructions, signaling the close of an era defined by open-air community and reliance on nature's rhythms. Secret chambers. The idea of a concealed room always sparks our wonder, and it's a defining trademark of Victorian design. Many have daydreamed about what they do with immense wealth, and one popular fantasy is constructing an enigmatic mansion filled with hidden spaces, like the legendary Winchester House in San Jose. This bizarre 19th century home isn't your typical Victorian. It was built by Sarah Winchester, heiress to the rifle fortune. The house was designed with countless bewildering elements, and lore suggests it was her attempt to appease spirits of those killed by Winchester weapons. Hidden rooms in grand estates like this served many purposes, based on the owner's desires and riches. They could safeguard valuables from intruders, act as a covert escape during trouble, or as Sarah Winchester's legend implies, hide a personal secret. While the notion of a ghostly, maze-like mansion seems extreme, the Winchester House stands as a powerful testament to the strange, fascinating things limitless wealth can create. Access was often via concealed steps, tight, secret corridors, adding layers of drama and intrigue. These weren't just rooms. They were built-in mysteries. The boot scraper or shoe cleaner is a frequent sight by the entrances of aged European homes. Its job was straightforward, to help you remove grime from your footwear before stepping inside. Interestingly, what we politely call mud was often a euphemism for hardened animal waste in the streets. Yes, initially, they were meant for scraping off horse manure, an extremely common substance before cars dominated transport. These fixtures were mainly around from the late 1800s up through the World Wars in Britain and elsewhere. They are a modest reminder of an era of unpaved roads and equestrian travel. Many were removed during wartime, as the metal, particularly cast iron, was gathered by governments for the war effort. Research indicates that despite a need for metal, unclear collection directives led to huge amounts of cast iron being taken but not actually used for weapon manufacturing, leaving them stockpiled and unused. Stained glass, with its marvelous blend of artistry, history, and beauty. You could think of it as the decorative LED lighting of the 1800s. Initially, it was a clear mark of affluence and status, reserved for the elite and sacred spaces. Creating stained glass was a high art, demanding skilled artisans to hand-cut and assemble glass fragments into diverse designs. It was like an intensely fragile, sometimes maddening puzzle. During the Victorian period, following a strong resurgence of medieval architectural styles, stained glass entered domestic spaces. It adorned transoms and other windows throughout the home, These windows served to beautify the interior and, importantly, offered privacy by obscuring the outside view while still permitting soft, filtered light inside. The magic is that with shifting natural light. These glass windows would transform in hue and pattern throughout the day, painting colorful, unique shapes on the floors. Even civic structures like town halls, libraries, and museums incorporated various stained glass doors and windows, frequently used to memorialize historical events and honor figures. Servant staircases. If you ever visit a genuinely old home, especially a large mansion or estate from the 19th and early 20th centuries, you might stumble upon these servant stairs. They were a standard element in such houses. These stairways were typically narrow, steep, sometimes sufficiently hidden to startle new owners unaware of their existence. They were built as an alternate route to the main staircase used by the family and guests. The design goal of these discreet passages was to let staff move through the home unseen, without disturbing household activities. It was essentially an early version of incognito mode. While the primary aim was efficiency, letting servants work quickly without obstruction, they're also often viewed as a means of segregating staff from the household. Jump to today, and you can still find these stairs in old homes, but they're frequently sealed shut. The chief reason? Considered a safety risk? Those steep steps are no joke. Just going up and down a few times delivers a week's worth of leg exercise. It's little wonder folks back then had remarkably strong calves. Built-in ironing boards. Anyone who's lived in an older house might recall a special type of cabinet, one that could swing out and bonk you on the head if you weren't careful. These secretive cupboards are called ironing closets. They were designed to hold a wooden ironing board that hooked into the wall, which could then be pulled down when needed, offering amazing convenience. These cabinets are relics from an era when most people knew how to properly press clothes, representing the peak of practical space saving. They were the multi-tool of household flexibility, though marketed as the ultimate tool for the homemaker. These ironing cabinets proved extremely versatile. It could serve as a kitchen counter extension or a play prop for kids. Location-wise, a typical ironing closet was usually placed as near to the kitchen as possible. These nooks were always fully stocked with everything needed to battle stubborn wrinkles. They are items that served through the biggest upheavals of the last century, from the Great Depression to World War II. Did you enjoy this nostalgic journey? Don't forget to smash the like button. It's the best way to support our channel. Winds of Thought. Luggage alcoves. This is an architectural detail many people don't know how to name. Some call it a luggage hideaway, others a card table nook, and some a spot for fold-up beds. If you see a small door next to a hallway closet, rest assured it's not for a person to hide in. These doors are usually narrow. It's only about 12 inches wide, roughly 30 centimeters, and less than half the height of a standard closet. However, they have considerable depth, often around 3 feet. In certain old homes, these compact spaces were intended for storing card tables, an item nearly every household owned in the 1950s. These tables needed a tidy spot until company arrived. Remember, in the 1950s, card games were a major source of fun and socializing. So, having a dedicated space in a hallway closet to keep them made perfect sense. Coal chutes. Instead of hauling heavy sacks through the front door, coal would be dumped through this metal sleeve, falling directly into a storage bin near the basement furnace. In cold months, when heating was essential for survival, easy fuel access was critical. Coal chutes solved this efficiently, helping keep the house warm while maintaining cleaner main living areas. Though obsolete today due to gas or electric heat, coal chutes remain intriguing historical artifacts. Modern owners of vintage homes might seal them up as unneeded openings. Yet many choose to preserve the chute cover to honor historical authenticity. Preserving details like coal chutes links us to the lives of prior residents, showing how they lived and adapted to chilly climates. Every forgotten detail is a fossil of daily life. Telephone nooks. Think back to the 1920s through the 1950s, when rotary phones arrived and grew popular. Due to their bulky size, you needed a special spot for them. Thus, the telephone nook was born. These were recessed wall spaces, typically in the living room or hallway. Paired with intercom systems of the time, the telephone nook was the high-tech communications hub of the 1920s. A standard nook had a small shelf for the receiver and space for a phone book. Some versions even included a tiny seat and reading lamp. The amusing part was those long, coiled phone cords. Did you want to wander more than 2 steps away? Impossible. You were anchored right at that nook, tethered by the coiled cord. Craving privacy? Good luck. Wired phones forced you to stay put, and since gossip was half the fun, the whole family usually overheard your chat. It was common to see siblings squabbling near the nook over who got to call grandma first. As time passed and mobiles replaced landlines, telephone nooks were gradually abandoned. Root cellars. The root cellar, sometimes fondly called a hobbit hole, was a common feature for rural homeowners, particularly in earlier decades. These storage spaces were dug deep underground, using the Earth's natural insulating properties. Consequently, they maintained a stable, cool temperature all year. This was Mother Nature's own refrigeration. Before widespread refrigerators and AC, root cellars offered an ideal environment for storing vegetables, tubers, fruits, and preserves. They symbolized self-reliance and a sustainable way of life. Root cellars came in many forms, including walk-in types, pit styles, and even versions that could double as storm shelters. Though the rise of modern appliances reduced their role in home design, for those who grew up with them, they're an indelible memory. They were the ultimate hiding spot during intense games of hide-and-seek. The icebox. The icebox was essentially an insulated cabinet used to hold large ice blocks. The melting ice cooled the food inside, helping preserve it longer. This was a vital solution for keeping food cold in a world without electric refrigeration. Some homes had special designs to make ice delivery easier. They featured small exterior hatches or doors built right into the kitchen walls, letting the iceman place the ice block directly into the icebox without entering the home and causing disruption. This ensured the cooling process was uninterrupted and food stayed safe. Sometimes houses even had built-in wall niches specifically for the icebox. Though the icebox is now a historical artifact and ice delivery is long gone, it remains a symbol of household ingenuity. Preserving these quirky features tells a unique story about our struggle to keep food fresh and how convenience evolves step by step in housing history. Floor grates. Floor grates are celebrated as the great-grandparents of modern heating vents. They were a widespread feature in older homes. These grates were both functional and decorative, used to heat and ventilate before central HVAC systems existed. For a family with inquisitive kids, floor grates could be a hazard. Children were often curious and dropped objects down them more than once. So, if you're up for a treasure hunt, these old floor grates are the prime spot to find lost trinkets from decades past. While heating grates still exist today, modern vents are considered bland, just simple metal bars. They lack sophistication, elegance, and, most importantly, the thrilling risk of dropping your keys into the abyss. Preserved in historical homes or integrated into modern designs, these grates continue to captivate with their intricate patterns and enduring charm. Laundry chutes. Laundry chutes are considered a luxury today, but they were once commonplace in the good old days. Aside from the vacuum cleaner, the laundry chute is a feature we'd use daily and never tire of. A typical 1970s question might be, "Honey, have you seen the cat lately?" Laundry chutes represent undeniable convenience. Even though we might lose socks and constantly buy new items, the feeling of tossing dirty clothes into a wall hole and forgetting them is utterly satisfying. It was a brilliant solution to prevent dirty laundry from piling up in bedrooms, making collection much quicker. This feature is clever design, using gravity to solve a problem. Though considered unsanitary or unsafe for small children today, for generations who used them, the laundry chute is a memory of simplifying chores. Especially if it had vacuum assist, the convenience would reach new heights. If you own an old home and know of a unique feature we missed, please enrich our community's knowledge by commenting below. Rainwater cisterns. In old houses, especially in rural areas, having a rainwater collection system wasn't unusual. It was essential. Water was gathered and stored in underground cisterns. These tanks were usually built below ground or integrated into the home stone foundation. This reminds us that sustainable living isn't a new trend. Our ancestors adopted it long ago. These collection systems were crucial not just for garden water, but sometimes for household use. They demonstrate ingenuity in managing natural resources when public water systems were unreliable. Preserving rainwater cisterns during an old home restoration is an active tribute to this green principle. Today, as sustainability surges back, these systems are being reconsidered. For restorers, it's a detail that tells a story of human adaptation and resourcefulness in facing water challenges. Dumbwaiters. In grand old homes, people often encountered these small elevators. One type was typically near the furnace, tasked with carrying fuel from the basement up. Another ran from the basement to the attic, with hatches opening in the kitchen, upstairs hall, and attic itself. It was incredibly handy for moving laundry, odds and ends, and other items. Even in kitchens with a butler's pantry, the dumbwaiter could discreetly transfer food between rooms. Sometimes previous owners removed the mechanism, leaving new owners with a mysterious hatch and two oddly tall, narrow closets. A word of advice: if someone suggests building a project with a retired engineer, especially a dumbwaiter, be cautious. These things are incredibly complex. A pro would need to label all wires for safety. Or you could choose a manual version for simplicity. The complexity and utility of the dumbwaiter highlight the difference in scale and management of old homes versus modern ones. High ceilings. Having high ceilings is a privilege. Congrats, you just saved yourself the headache of finding the right tall bookshelf. In the Victorian and Georgian eras, lofty ceilings were a clear status symbol. The absolute best perk, according to some, was the expansive attic that came with them. Whenever something needed moving, you could just toss it over the railing. Laundry goes one way, occasionally chuck a snack bag, and if brave, a soda can. The trick is leveraging the vertical space. Use the height to your advantage. High curtains create drama. Oversized art makes a statement. And if you're out of ideas, you can always hang a swing, why not? However, while high ceilings boost pride, they also bring regret. With ceilings up to 15 feet, even changing a light bulb becomes an extreme sport, demanding your best rock climbing skills. Transom windows. If natural light inside your home matters, then transom windows are a vintage feature we seldom see now. These are small, horizontal windows usually placed above doors or larger windows. Many mid-century homes had transems above sliding glass doors. They look stunning. We personally adore transom windows because they add illumination and often frame a view of backyard trees, giving a subtle connection to the outdoors. Furthermore, they let air and light circulate between rooms, especially in townhouses or apartments, maximizing available daylight. Transoms also provide privacy without daily struggles with curtains or blinds. Though modern HVAC made them obsolete for ventilation, they remain a beautiful feature, adding personality and symmetry. Many homeowners now restore transoms for aesthetics or to brighten dark halls. If you ever remove them, take the glass out, and you'll see them repurposed in creative ways. Pantries. It was a wonderful time to be alive. We'd find our way to a friend's house for lunch and raid the pantry, hunting for fruit, cookies, or any snack we could find. Then we might get scolded by the friend's mom and told to go back outside. We'd run out, sip water from the garden hose, maybe spray each other, then dash off to the next adventure. The pantry was a crucial part of family life, a hub for staple foods, and a center of self-sufficiency. Memories tied to these pantries aren't just about snacks. They're also about a time when parents actively encouraged community projects. This list includes charity, food drives, scholarships, playground upgrades, library fundraisers, and more. These pantries witnessed strong neighborhood bonds. Back then, the 10 p.m. news always signed off with, "It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?" The conversation pit was once the focal point of 1970s homeowner life. As the name suggests, these sunken seating areas, sometimes called sunken living rooms, were exactly what a pre-smartphone generation needed for intimate family time. In fact, it wouldn't be wrong to call them the mullet haircut of interior design business around the edges, party in the middle. Some even called them indoor pools. However, for those who grew up with them, the conversation pit was also a serious tripping hazard. Have you ever warned someone to be careful in the living room, only to hear a thud 6 seconds later? That happened a lot. Besides being hazardous, they were very limiting. Want to change furniture? Too bad it's built-in. Want to rearrange the room? It's also too bad there's a hole in the floor. This is why we don't see them anymore. The conversation pit is a prime example of a design trend that emphasized closeness but failed in long-term flexibility and safety. Have you ever been stuck in a conversation pit? Share your childhood story in the comments. Natural cooling methods. Older generations knew how to stay cool. Many Americans grew up without a C in the 60s and 70s. To cope, they had to be incredibly inventive. The key is that humans are adaptable. Homes were built with intelligent architectural features to manage heat. They heavily insulated attics and added roof vents to release hot air. Sleeping porches were also hugely popular. This was a screened room, usually upstairs, where families dragged mattresses to sleep and escape indoor heat. House layout was also optimized. Homes had windows opening on all sides to create cross breezes. Windows in each room were positioned to catch the best airflow. The house was oriented on the lot to capture drafts. They had spacious, shaded porches with room for furniture. Kitchens were placed at the back, away from living areas, sometimes separated by a hall. Old ceilings were 12 feet high, so heat could rise. They also got creative with fans. Fans were placed in windows to circulate air throughout the house, not just cool one spot. They spent much time outdoors, under trees or on the porch, making ice cream, playing cards, catching fireflies at dusk, and eating. In Victorian architecture, the staircase itself was a masterpiece with unique details. Newel posts are the large columns at the top and bottom of the stair railing, sometimes designed to hold delightful surprises. Not every newel post is identical. Some were fitted with small compartments to store tiny but important items. These nooks could hold business cards, notes, or even keys. This is a wonderful subtlety, turning a massive, fixed architectural element into a convenient, secure storage spot. Preserving these posts with their secret functions is like safeguarding a piece of hidden history. These newel posts add charm and mystery to any old home tour. They reflect an era where formality and discretion went together. A discreet place to store items needed for social life or household management without displaying them. Such small details are what create the soul, personality, and ingenuity that modern builds often lack. Home intercoms, wired into the walls. Home intercom systems genuinely made communication between floors easier, especially between kids' rooms upstairs and the rest of the house. Mom often used the FM radio feature while cleaning. For many families, yelling was still simpler. Occasionally, we'd use the intercom for eavesdropping. We delocked the kitchen unit in open mode when we thought parents were discussing one of the kids. Unfortunately, the intercom was sometimes used for torture. Mothers used the radio function to wake us for school, and it wasn't music. It was news about an assassination or another recording played extremely loud through the speaker to rouse us. If you tried to remove it, you faced a complex mess of wires and buzzing power converters in the wall. The question is, why have it? The yelling system worked better. What's the yelling system? Simply stand in the kitchen and shout, "Dinner's ready." Everyone in the county could hear you. Milk doors, or milk chutes, are a charming relic from the days of daily milk delivery. You can often spot these small doors on the facade of older suburban houses. They do exactly what the name says. For children of that era, it was like a magical portal. They'd eagerly open it each morning, waiting for it to be filled with dairy goods, from cheese to fresh milk. These delivered parcels were placed in a hollow compartment between two doors. Milk delivery people were brave souls, up at dawn, contending with stray animals, racing to ensure your family had breakfast essentials. Fancier versions even had a dial to indicate to the delivery person how much milk you needed. Today, many don't know the charm of these doors. Their use has shifted from milk delivery to becoming secret passages for kids and pets in trouble. Push-button switches. They had push-button switches with that characteristic click-clack sound. The 20th century brought the age of electricity and widespread switch use. Before that, lights were often turned on by pulling a cord, then the push button arrived. They delivered a satisfying click when pressed. An average switch had two buttons, alternating to turn the light on or off. The interesting part is that people loved to decorate their switches. Cover plates were often made of brass, porcelain, or sometimes with mother of pearl inlay. Despite their classic appeal and nostalgic value, these switches weren't as safe as modern ones. They were more prone to malfunction due to the old no-band tube wiring. They also caused a small spark behind the plate, leading some to believe little demons were trapped in the wires, doing our bidding but wanting to break free. Push-button switches have since been replaced by toggle switches, are much more boring, and we agree. Butler's pantries. The butler's pantry is a refined historical feature, often strategically placed between kitchen and dining room. Its purpose was to act as a buffer and prep zone. In large homes with staff, this room was used to arrange meals before serving, store precious silver and china, and prepare drinks. Larger houses had specialized cabinetry, counters, and sometimes sinks and dumbwaiters here. Though the formality of hosting has evolved, the need for extra storage and prep space remains. The butler's pantry is making a strong comeback in modern design, especially for those blending modern convenience with traditional elegance. While formality may change, these rooms demonstrate the need for organization and thoughtful prep in large households. They symbolize maintaining order and discretion in serving activities. Restoring or recreating a butler's pantry can add architectural value and convenience for modern gatherings. 25 forgotten things you'd find in every 1980s kitchen? But that's a story for another day. If you enjoyed this deep dive into architectural history, please give us a likey to support Winds of Thought, and subscribe for more journeys into the past.